All right, guys. We are here. Look at Apple pop up. I don't know why Apple's moving up this morning. It's at 209s, but Apple is going up. Let me drink some coffee here. Hold on. Whew. All right. Look at the NASDAQ pop. Nvidia pop up. Sludge coffee. All right, let me see if there's any news that recently came out. Hold on. Could be Apple tops Q1 smartphone sales according to Counterpoint Research says it was helped by iPhone 16e launch and continued expansion in emerging markets. I don't know if that's driving it up. Let me drink some coffee though. Ugh. Yeah, markets are all up pretty big. Nvidia almost up to 114s. Q was up to 460s. What do I want to put up here? We can put like the NASDAQ here. NASDAQ all the way to 19.1s, 19.2s. Yeah, where are treasuries this morning? Treasuries are at 4.5%. Wow. 4.44%, but still pretty high level. I'm seeing some Kremlin's on talks with U.S. Special Envoy Witkoff says such contracts are very useful and effective on a possible Putin-Trump meeting. Says it was not discussed in substantive terms. I don't know if that's moving markets. Are treasury yields falling? Yeah, so treasury yields actually down a little bit today. They were at about 4.65, 4.63%. They are now down to 4.44%. So they did dip a little bit. So as of 5:44 Eastern time this morning, the 10-year treasury yield was down nearly 5 basis points at 4.44%. The 2-year note slipped to 3.4%. Slipped from 3.4 to 3 up to 3.9%. Oh no, I'm sorry. The 2-year slipped 3.4 basis points to 3.92%, under 4% for the 2-year treasury note. Sorry, I'm kind of waking up a little bit. Smartphones, a lot of stuff's bumping up today after the U.S. president said that smartphones, computers, electronic devices, and components like semiconductors are now exempt from reciprocal tariffs. He said this over the weekend. Futures were up a lot yesterday. This was late Friday that the exemptions were made because he wants to ensure companies have time to move production to the U.S. However, he suggested on Sunday that the exemptions are not permanent. So that's something that you want to consider here. Big volatility in the bond market last week. 10-year yield rose over 50 basis points. Biggest increases on record. One of the biggest increases on record. 90-day tariff pause was announced last week. 10-year treasury yield briefly dipped on the news. It scaled back up to over 4.5% on Friday. It's now at 4.4% after the exemption. We can see stuff like Palantir, like look, NASDAQ, Nvidia, Q rising this morning. We can see stuff like Palantir also going up. Gold, on the other hand, is falling down a little bit, but starting to rebound some on this news maybe. No big news this morning yet. And it's a little slower of a week for economic reports, which might give the market time to trend. Some, I think, here. Yeah, like today we don't have any economic reports. Tomorrow we got import-export prices, New York Empire State Manufacturing data. We got Canadian CPI data tomorrow. Wednesday we have retail sales in the morning, mortgage rates in the morning, and then we have Jerome Powell in the evening, or in the afternoon, I should say. So Jerome Powell speaks at 1:15 Wednesday. Thursday we got jobless claims, Philly Fed index, ECB rate decision, and more. Apparently Friday, a lot of markets are closed for Good Friday. Is Friday a half day in markets? Okay, so Good Friday. It says it is a holiday. Futures closed. No, we don't really have any Fed numbers. Today's pretty slow. Wednesday's when stuff starts this week. Monday, Tuesday, kind of slow. We might have some earnings this week, though. Let me see. We're about to hit earnings season. Last week we had a bunch of bank earnings on Friday. Today we have Goldman Sachs this morning, M&T Bank this morning. M&T is already out, apparently. But later today we have Goldman Sachs, expected at 7:25 Eastern time for Goldman Sachs. So that's one to watch. Okay, so the markets are actually going to be closed on Friday. Like stock and futures markets are going to be closed. Or no, futures are open, it looks like, but futures might have a shortened day. Let me make sure. Yeah, so the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, and bond markets are going to be closed for Good Friday. Futures market are going to have a half hours. So that's this Friday. So let me make sure we don't have anything going on this Friday. Yeah, we don't really have anything dropping this Friday. So it's a shortened holiday week. Taiwan Semiconductors. When is that? When is TSMC? It is Thursday at 2 a.m. Well, I'm definitely not covering that. It's at 2 a.m. Another stock to look at this morning is Tesla here. Look at Tesla. Tesla rising. It's at 256 this morning, 256. Apple upgraded at KeyBank. CMSCA downgraded at Wells Fargo. Comcast, I believe, is what that is, if I'm correct here. Remember, we got Morgan Stanley dropping, and like Yeah, I'm good on the London Open stream. Too early. I already get up at, like, it's 5 a.m. It's 6 o'clock in the morning Texas time. So I'm already starting at 6 a.m. Texas time, which means I got to get up at 5:30 Texas time. So early enough. Interesting day today, though. I'm really curious to see what happens. Yeah, I'm looking up some other news, but Michael Brown posted something that said, looks like the margin calls have started to arrive. These are mostly watches. 25 Rolex GMT2 Batman. Rolex Oyster Perpetual. Patek Philippe Nautilus. Daytona. Audemars Piguet. Royal Oak. Must be talking about watches. Who's taking loans out for watches, though? I'm not. All right, so the president said about 13 hours ago, these products are subjected to the existing 20% fin tariffs. Where's Bitcoin at? Is Bitcoin up this morning? Yeah, Bitcoin up to 85K still. Been pretty strong last week. Rebounded a lot, which is good. All right, guys, as of today, Wall Street Bank reports strong earnings amid economic uncertainty. Major U.S. financial institutions have reported robust first quarter earnings. BlackRock record asset levels Friday. Despite these, executives have expressed concerns about economic volatility during their earnings calls, particularly in light of the recent trade policies and tariffs. Some banks have increased provisions for credit losses, indicating a cautious outlook. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon mentioned a 50-50 chance of a recession, highlighting ongoing economic turbulence. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is attempting to reconcile the populist economic strategies associated with the political movement with traditional conservative values like debt reduction, tax cuts, and deregulation. Yeah, I mean, you got to follow a lot of these guys. Like, there's some big public figures that you got to watch. Just to watch. Even if you don't agree with what they say, you just got to watch to see market moves and influence. 4 a.m. LA time. Yeah, in California, it's early, man. I don't know how y'all do that. Yeah, we got import-export and Empire State Manufacturing data tomorrow. Wednesday, we got retail sales, industrial production, and business inventories. Thursday, we got jobless claims, housing starts. And I'm trying to look at what earnings we have this week to see kind of some influence there. We got Taiwan Semiconductors on Thursday at 2 a.m. in the morning. Today, we got Goldman Sachs in about 7 minutes. So we're going to cover Goldman Sachs release live. This evening, we got some stuff. We got like Applied Digital. That's probably the biggest one this evening, APLD. Tomorrow, we got Bank of America, Citigroup, Johnson & Johnson, PNC, Albertsons, Ericsson, and more tomorrow morning. More bank earnings. That'll be interesting. And then tomorrow evening, we have like UAL, United Airlines, Interactive Brokers, JB Hunt, Hancock Whitney, Equity. Honestly, I do not like Hancock Whitney Bank at all. I do not like them at all. Treasury Secretary Bessent is set to speak on Bloomberg at, what is this, 4 o'clock Eastern time today? At 4 o'clock Eastern time, Treasury Secretary is supposed to speak on Bloomberg. I don't know how much of an influence he's going to have on markets, but we'll watch it regardless. But yeah, I don't like Hancock Whitney. Like, I was recommended to use them in some ways. And like, yeah, let me do a poll. I was encouraged to use them. They have no modern tools. Like, they don't have Zelle. They don't have anything. Like, their bank app is very, like, it's like, if you're tech savvy, you're not gonna like Hancock Whitney. Like, they don't allow you to do anything. Like, you gotta wire money into the accounts. Like, it's ridiculous. I just don't like them. Yeah, it feels barren on Hancock Whitney. You know. Does the market rebound continue today, or do we start? Or do we reverse? Rebound, reverse. And then we're going to have sideways as an option. Does the market rebound continue today, or do we reverse back down? Vote of the poll. Let me know how you feel. Try to see what other earnings we got today. Or no, not today. We got let me pull up. We got Morgan Stanley earnings coming out very soon. Yeah, on Wednesday in the morning, we got ASML, Abbott, US Bank, Progressive, Travelers, Citizens, Movado, a couple more. Wednesday evening, we got Alcoa, Kinder Morgan, Liberty Energy. Nothing else really big, though. Thursday, TSM at 2 a.m. That's probably the biggest one. One of the biggest ones this week, but it dropped so early. We got like Amex on Thursday at 7. Ally Financial, Texas Capital Bank. And then Thursday evening, we got Netflix and more. So, we'll see what those days look like. All right, guys. Let's see what else we got. What are your thoughts on the value of $1? The Dixie, I heard it's falling recently. Under 100. Definitely been falling pretty fast, but you got to look at long-term price movement to really gauge. So we did break under this range of the last few years for the Dixie. We have broken under this range, which is an important distinction here. Look, So this is $100. Oh, that's a bad line. All right, so here's $100, right here. We have broken underneath that level on the Dixie, which I wouldn't say is a good sign, personally. But you never know what's going to happen with markets. You don't know whether they're going to bounce back, pull back, correct, anything. We really just don't know. Yeah, so waiting for Morgan Stanley numbers to come out. I don't know how much Morgan Stanley's going to move, but we're looking at it. Yeah, I mean, I saw that already. Yeah, I don't know. I see the market starting to kind of rebound back up some. And I mean, if we look at the broad market here, I'm still waiting for Morgan Stanley. But if you put a 4-hour chart on stream, we bounced off of 400 on the NASDAQ. We're up to 460s here. And we've got a rebounded, like, on a percentage basis. Let's talk about it here. So on a percentage basis, we have bounced back. So let's see. We dropped from 541 down to 402. So we dropped from 541 down to 402. In total, this was a 26% move. 26% move down. We have now rebounded back up some. So we dropped. We rebounded back up. But in terms of like percentages of this move, let's talk about it. So we've bounced back. Let me calculate the percentage of this move here. So we have rebounded back up to where we're now back up to 554s. 554s from 540. Or 454, sorry. So now we are back up. So we're only down 16%. So we've effectively rebounded around 10% of this move. Right, so we're back up around 10% of this move. We dropped 26%, back up 10%. Now we're only effectively down 16% from everything. And so, yeah, we've rebounded not quite half, but we're back up a little bit here, you know. So let me fix this collar. We're back up some. We dropped 26%, bounced back 10%. Now we're down 16%. Goldman Sachs just reported their numbers. It was Goldman Sachs, not Morgan Stanley. I'm sorry, it was GS. Goldman Sachs reporting earnings. They just dropped their earnings here, and they're gapping up a little bit. They posted 14.12 EPS. Again, 14.12 EPS versus 12.21 expected. Approved up to 40 billion share buyback program. Yeah, so here's Goldman Sachs earnings. They just posted theirs. Oof, sludge coffee, bro. Bitcoin at 85K though. Tesla all the way back up to 250s. Yeah, I'm looking at bond yields too, man. We got to watch those this morning. I mean, it depends on what symbol you're talking about. NASDAQ dropped 26%. S&P dropped less. S&P dropped. Oh, so the S&P, they were at 613s. They fell all the way down to 481s. So the S&P dropped 22% roughly, right around 22% for the S&P. Now we are back up. So to where we only dropped 13%. So the S&P has had like an 8 or 9% move back up. So at their greatest drop, the NASDAQ was down 26%. The S&P was down 21 to 22%. Most securities have rebounded 8, 9, 10% back up to where they are currently right now. NASDAQ's up 8 or 9%. S&P's up 8% or so. So that's kind of what's going on. Nvidia has had a really strong rebound. Nvidia up. Let's talk about it. So Nvidia hit 153 at its highs. Dropped all the way down to what? I think it was down to like under this at its lows though. Like these are a little bit off, but I think, yeah, 83s. Yeah, 83s at the lows. So Nvidia dropped from 153 down to 83s, which is a 46% drop. 46% drop on Nvidia. And now it's back up to 114s, which is a 25% drop. So Nvidia bounced back up almost 25%, almost 20%, about 20%. So Nvidia is doing bigger percentage moves on the upside and downside here. Same thing with like AMD, which dropped all the way down to 75. Looking at our poll, we're pretty split on rebound and then reverse or sideways. 52% think we're going to rebound. 24% think we're going to reverse. 25% think sideways. Hey, what's up, Sam? Yeah, I think an interesting day that we're going to have on the books today, guys. An interesting day that we're going to have on the books is... Oh man, I just exited out of it trying to click on it. So Wednesday this week. Wednesday we have import-export. Or no, Wednesday we got retail sales data. We got retail sales. We got the Bank of Canada rate decision. And then I would say one of the bigger things going on is we got the Atlanta Fed GDP now for quarter one. Atlanta Fed GDP now for quarter one going out at 1 o'clock. And so that's going to give a estimate on last quarter's GDP prior to the end of this month when we have actual quarter one GDP coming out. But then we also have Powell speaking at 1:15. So that'll be an interesting day. We got retail sales, Atlanta Fed GDP, and then Powell coming out at 1:15 Eastern. And we're going to stream all of this like we always do here. So like we're going to cover all of it, stream all of it, you know. But I think that'll be an interesting day to see how it influences the market there for sure. So much news all year is crazy. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm covering all the news though, so it's a little bit different. Like, this news has always been here. I'm just kind of covering it and showing you guys how to watch it. I feel pretty good that I bought Nvidia in the 90s. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a bad level. My coffee tastes like sludge today, guys. Straight sludge. All right, so there's been a temporary relief in tech. Okay. The broad market volatility has been continuing. Concerns about trade policy, decline in the U.S. dollar, and treasury bond prices have raised investor anxiety, signaling potential reduced foreign investment, particularly from countries like Japan and China. Analysts suggest that while the tariff pause could pave the way for renewed investor confidence, caution prevails amid ongoing risk factors such as upcoming earnings reports and potential economic fallout from tariffs. Billionaire hedge fund manager Ray Dalio warned that the U.S. could face consequences, quote, worse than a recession due to the admin's tariff policies, particularly the recent 145% tariff hike on imports from China. Similarly, JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon has warned that a recession is likely the consequence of the escalating trade war driven by economic turbulence caused by tariffs. So a lot of people think we might hit a recession this year now. And that's probably a pretty good poll. Another thing that I'm kind of interested in is quantum stocks. Like, do I want to buy quantum stocks right now? I started researching the quantum technology a little bit more. And it's looking more and more like quantum stocks are going to be the future. And so I just got to find an in for these stocks. Maybe average into them. Small position, though. Big risk, big reward with these, I think. But no country listed is anywhere near ready for quantum. Even if they're not ready, sometimes what can happen is like stock price can go up, giving the company funding. That funding can make the company grow. And, you know, it's kind of like a snowball effect. Funding, stock price increase gives them more funding. More funding makes the company grow and expand and makes it more valid. Because it's more valid, people buy more shares, increasing funding again, so forth and so on, right? And then it continues to go up. That happens. And so even if it's not necessarily ready, it might be something to think about. It's still really early, though. But sometimes being early is key. So, I don't know. Maybe. I'm not rushing to it yet. I'm not buying anything yet. We'll wait. I'll look at most of them in a month from now. But yeah, AI is getting really, really good, man. Really, really good. Long term, yeah, for sure. Social media is going crazy with all the videos about luxury goods being made overseas. No more secrets? What kind of secrets are you talking about? Social media. Yeah, I mean, I saw something about Lululemon. It's like the producers of Lululemon said, hey, we can create this for under $5 or something. I don't know. I didn't find it that useful. Bunny. I didn't really find it that useful. I thought Grok was kind of wrong about a lot. Palantir up to 92s though. Look at Palantir. So we had Goldman with earnings. They didn't really hold though. Here's Palantir. 9170s. Yeah, we're on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-day green streak on Top Step X. I use a bunch of different AIs. I don't mind Gemini. I think Gemini is good in a lot of ways, in terms of like consistent accuracy. Yeah, so I'm watching other stuff here. So the tariffs on the U.S. economy reports indicate growing concerns about inflation, supply chain disruptions, and demand destruction. Reports of consumers seeing tariff surcharges on receipts. Inflation is still a worry. We're going to see what GDP shows up as. Do you think AMD hits 100 this week? Maybe. AMD is one of the stocks I bought. We're green on our portfolio that we bought on our I can't talk this morning. I don't know why. On my portfolio. Sheesh, dude, I can't talk. We're green on everything, or not everything, but we're green. AMD was one of the stocks that I bought during that. So what happened is we had that big rebound. And then we had a pullback that was pretty large, and that's when I bought in a lot of this stuff, and it worked well. We're green on almost everything, and net green on the portfolio as well. So yeah, 25% is 25%. I think you got to start buying a little bit there. I mean, everybody's different though, and again, like, here's where the emotion starts with stuff like this. And again, I'm going to preface this with, of course, like, look, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Like, you always got to make your own assessment, trade responsibly, not a market, professional, not trade advice, not liable if you lose. Do your own assessment, trade responsibly. With that said, though, long-term, buying these dips are usually very profitable. Like buying these 25-30% dips, these are usually very profitable pullbacks to buy, even if we continue down some. Every single time we correct, and every single time I've seen the market correct in general, you got all these people that pressure people not to buy. They tell people it's not over. They make fun of people that buy, and those are usually the people that are some of the most toxic, because they're so biased to the short side that they miss out on some of the most opportune times to buy into the market. And even if we continue to go down, right, dollar cost averaging over a long period of time is going to render a lot of these profitable regardless of that. But you got to understand, we might keep going down. It's very possible we keep going down. It's just about objective value. And a 25% drop, I think, is objectively, going to be a cheap entry long term. And when I say long term, I mean like in 5 years, 10 years. We're probably going to be very green from a lot of this stuff. Maybe not. There's always a chance that we're not. I'm just looking for cheap value. And I think that's something that we're seeing right now. And so, again, I can buy into a lot of this stuff and then just kind of DCA over a longer period of time. And then if we make money, great. If not, fine. But we're still set. And again, we'll see what happens. It's still really early in this pullback or correction. Like, the market can do anything, man. And again, especially with, I would say, with how volatile things are, with how volatile things are right now with like the tariff news going on, it's a time you want to just be very careful in markets. Like we could drop another 10-20%. It depends on how long this trade war goes on. And if it continues to go on, like it could get really rough. So you just want to be careful. Thing with tariffs is they can disappear in the snap of a finger. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. You know, they could also get like reignited with the snap of a finger as well. And so my point is, like, if you're gonna buy now, understand that you might have to sit on a losing position for a little while, and that's okay, because the goal, like, I can day trade, swing trade, and the volatility's been good for that stuff too. But you want to make sure that you buy in the right times, the right moments, and that takes time. You know, you got to let things work for you, even if we continue down a little bit. You know, and maybe it's a longer-term downtrend. That's possible too. It's a lot of stuff's possible, right? Like it's possible that we continue down for a greater period of time, and you just want to prepare yourself for that as well and be okay with it, because you know, honestly, to a certain extent, that's where some of the big money is. Like, you got to understand, these big banks, what they're doing when we have these drastic 5-10-year downswings, 10-year, 5-year corrections, 8-year corrections, 7-year corrections, what they're doing is they're buying into that stuff the whole time. They're just buying. And then when it starts to come back, which it almost certainly will, then they're making boatloads of money doing it. And that's what the most big modern banks, hedge funds, you know, that's what they're doing. Like what banks do to make money is they stick their money in the market, and the market average is about 10% a year, 8% a year, 9%, 10%, 12%. Last year it did freaking 40 something percent. And so what they're doing is they're sticking their money in the market, and then they are paying you just a percentage of that. And so they're taking your money. When you deposit money in a bank, when you deposit money into a CD, let's just use it this way, into a certified deposit, and they might pay you a yield of like 4%, right? 4% for a yield. They're gonna take your, let's say it's 100K. They're gonna take your 100K, stick it in the market. Let's just say they earn 10%, which is the average return for the S&P or the NASDAQ. They're gonna pay you 4% and pocket the other 6%. And so that's how reliable the market is, especially for banks and banking. And this is something that retail trader gets wrong a lot, which is that they just miss out on there's too much people like pumping, stroking fears, telling everybody it's the end of the world. And it's usually because those people miss out on things, and then they get kind of like weird about it. But the reality is the market is incredibly consistent, even with crashes like we're in right now, even with pullbacks. And so you just want to be patient and just let it work for you. Again, not an investment professional. Yeah, I mean, we actually, you know, got some good news over the weekend, which is microchips are exempt, you know, which is good news. I'd say that's optimistic, positive news. Exemption and microchips, which is a lot of the big stocks that have been running over the past few years. Yeah, they miss out on the gains. They get bitter. They start crying manipulation. You know, that's how it goes. Hey, nice tiny. Yeah, looking at our poll, less than 50% think we're going to keep rebounding. 25% think we're going to reverse out of 500 plus votes. 25% of people think we're going to go sideways. All right, guys. So yeah, I'm looking up some of the stuff the president's been saying. Yeah, so the president announced temporary exemptions, smartphones, laptops, semiconductor equipment from the 145% tariffs on Chinese imports. They'll still face a 20% tariff, but the move did give some relief to stocks. Like, that's why the market's bouncing back. And again, like, this isn't permanent though, so like that's the thing you got to understand about it. It's not permanent. The Nikkei 225 broke from 89, was going down and flat in 2025. Yeah, well, that's what a trade battle will do. See what he says today, man. Yeah, we'll see what he says today. Honestly, it should be a fun day. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get political. I think a trade battle like this is going to cause short-term pain in markets, and maybe it'll do long-term benefits. But it's a sketchy game to play. And again, Goldman Sachs ended up posting earnings. They posted 14.12 EPS versus 12.21 expected revenue of 5.06 billion versus 15.06 billion. Versus 14.8 billion expected. They also approved a 40 billion share buyback. Palantir up, Apple up, Tesla up, NASDAQ up. We will be day trading some today too. So stick around, we will be day trading some. AMD up. Look at AMD rise. Yeah, Bitcoin's been doing well. Bitcoin's up to 85, 86,000. $85, 86K, so it's doing good there. 90,000 I think is a big level for it. We'll see if it can hold over that. So my daughter has been learning how to drive. She peeled out in my yard yesterday. I took her driving. I didn't want to take the truck. My wife pressured me to let her take the truck, which has a V8 in it, and then she was pulling into our driveway. Gave it a little bit too much gas, and you know, I guess it's how it goes. I felt like I was living in an Office episode yesterday. We had a bird that flew into our window, and we found it outside. And we tried to nurture it back to life, but it just didn't make it. You know. If you know the Office episode, you know, we should have sang a song regarding it. Where did all this music go? Hold on, wait. So I'm listening to this music. All right, whatever. My daughter was learning how to drive. My daughter, not me. My daughter was learning how to drive. She is a teenager. You barely look 24? Oh, good genes then, I guess, bro. Good genes, dude. Top 3 greatest genes of all time ever in the world. I'm in my 30s. If I was in my 20s, I would use a lot more younger slang. Those who know. I'd probably be saying cook a lot. Like, oh, we're getting cooked, bro. Or something like that. No cap. Right? This is a skibbity toilet market or something like that, right? I'd be saying stuff like that. But yeah, I'm old, bro. Yeah, I mean, none of you guys have been right about guessing my age, but I wouldn't actually tell you if you were. Ugh. Y'all are guessing my age. Now, again, none of y'all are right, just to put it out there. If it makes you feel better. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you guys even if y'all are right, but none of y'all have really been right, so. Sorry, I'm talking to my family. They just came in here. Yeah, look at the SPY come down here. So the E-mini coming back down. Palantir shooting back up, though. But look at the E-mini come down here. Let's see what the NASDAQ is doing. So we're at 19s. Right now, 19s. Alright, look at a Palantir spike. NASDAQ dipping down here. Let's see if there's any news. I want to see if there's any justifiable news that influences this. Anyway, we got Goldman Sachs with the earnings. Peter Schiff expects mining firm DuPont Corp to top 100 million amid global price. Wall Street is worthless, he says. Experts predict future tax cuts with, quote, more deficit expansion with no tariff revenue to fund deficits amid electronics tariff pause. So again, economist Craig Shapiro has expressed skepticism regarding the president's trade battle and policies, expressing concerns about revenue from tariffs not being able to fund the trade deficit, which is likely to widen after the tax cuts he proposed. This is particularly following the exemption of smartphone chips and computers from reciprocal tariffs on Friday. He said in an X.com post, quote, while I was wrong about the president again, he did cave exempting smartphones and computers from the reciprocal tariffs. This lack of revenue, he thinks, combined with potential future cuts, raises concerns about increasing national debt. He said, quote, eventually we'll get the tax cuts, but unfortunately, they will come with more deficit expansion and higher inflation and higher yields. Do you guys agree with this? Yeah, look at this dip in markets. You gotta always check for tweets in this modern market here. Yeah, look at Palantir, guys. Wow, Palantir up here. It's not really dragging the market back. I'm trying to find the news for this right now. So Palantir had some news. They said NATO has acquired an AI-powered military system from Palantir. That's the news that just dropped. Again, NATO acquiring an AI-powered military system from Palantir, PLTR. It's up big on this tweet. Or not this tweet, but it's up big. Palantir making some moves. Wow. Up to 94s right now, 94s. I'm trying to see why the NASDAQ is dipping like this, though. Yeah, so no trading on Friday. So markets are closed. NASDAQ's bouncing back, though. It's up to almost 19.1s. Let's see if we get over 19 or 20,000 today. Hold over 19, get over 20. That's what I want to see. Is GameStop spiking right now? GameStop up to 27s as we speak here. 27s. Looking at our votes, 49% think rebound, 26% think we reverse this week, and 25% think we're going to go sideways. Yeah, I mean, you got to watch things close. But again, this is from Tesla rebounding back up, Palantir flying back up on that NATO deal. We're watching AMD. I think we also should watch Apple to see if Apple's making any abrupt movements here. Yeah, look at Apple going up. You know, the microchip thing is good for Apple, of course, or the electronics thing is good for Apple. Tesla's still at 250s. Trying to hold. Hey, thank you so much for becoming a member, Average Joe. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Sideways, up or down? I really don't know, man. I think it's hard to predict just because, you don't know what the president's going to say this week, right? You don't know where the tariff battle is going to go. You don't know what any of that stuff is going to do, and I think it's hard to guess. I think there's a lot of variance in what could happen here, depending on what he says, does. So, yeah, I would just be very careful, guys. A lot of variance. Yeah, so I'm looking at some other stuff here this morning. The global oil demand growth forecast for 25 is revised down slightly to 1.3 million BPD year over year. They said, quote, this minor adjustment is mainly due to received data for quarter one and expected impact on oil demand given recently announced U.S. tariffs. They said, quote, the global oil demand growth forecast for 2026 is also revised down slightly to 1.3 million BPD year over year. Supply non-DOC liquid supply from countries not participating in the Declaration of Cooperation is forecast to grow by 0.9% BPD. 0.9 million BPD was previously 1 million. The main growth drivers are expected to be US, Canada, Brazil, Argentina crude oil production. Where'd it go? By the countries participating in the DOC dipped by 37,000 BPT in March. Yeah, so oil has been one of the biggest hit ones. But it's kind of bouncing back. Oil back up to 60s. Look at oil. So oil was one of the big things impacted by a lot of this stuff. If we put up CL here, here's oil. If we put up like a hourly chart, you can kind of see oil got dumped. This is the lowest level in oil in years. So Pfizer stock falls. It's halted development of a new weight loss drug. Yeah, Apple popping up here. Look at Apple. So Apple continuing. And again, Apple's one of those companies that I think is going to benefit the most from this tariff exemption news. Apple back up to 210s. So honestly, Apple's been doing really well on the rebound back up. Yeah, so Apple's been killing it the last few weeks. Yeah, uncertainty is high right now for sure, 100%. Very high uncertainty. And we'll see what the market does. We'll see if it's bouncing back. Again, Palantir, AI-powered military system. Acquisition from NATO. Microsoft's still heading down, though. It's at 390s, but... the exemption is temporary. So the exemption in these is temporary. Yeah, you can join our Discord. Everything's free here too. Yeah, alright, so we're going to do some trading here maybe. I mean, let's build some levels here. And we'll talk about our favorite levels on the NQ. All right, so let's talk about it. So I think 19,000. I'm going to do a post daily on x.com detailing the levels that I'm watching. If you want to give me a follow on x.com, it's a great way to help support the channel. It doesn't cost anything. We do like summarizations, news releases, everything. You want to see what's going on in markets during the week, give me a follow here because we'll cover mostly everything going on, and we'll get a daily news post out there. There's the link right there. Check it out. But we're looking at 19,000 first level, 19,000 even. The second level is up there. Hold on, let me figure this out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remove some levels here. I got a little bit too many on this chart, and we're gonna clear some of these out and start redoing some here. So I know there's a way to clear the levels. I gotta remember this. Sidekick. I think I like side click something. Yeah, there it is. All right, so we just cut our drawings. We're gonna redraw some of these. All right, we're gonna look at 19 even. I think 19 is a big psychological level. I think we gotta look at like I don't know if it's 19 ones. I would say it's like 19 15s. I think 19 ones might be good too. Yeah, and then we got one up here, 19,175s, and then 1975 right here. All right, so these are levels that I'm looking at right now. These three. We'll take a picture of this and put this. So these are the levels that I'm watching that are close to us. If we get over these levels here, though. Yeah, and you can kind of see how well these levels work when you zoom out. If we get over these levels, 19,250 looks like one. 19,250 here. 19,280 is what we're looking at. All right, so that's what we got on our charts right now. And then I can just take a picture of them so you guys can see them. Here, we'll do it like this. There we go. Alright, so yeah, we're going to do a update on the major levels we're watching today. The other levels that I think are relevant here, so let's talk about a couple of them. Number one, Nvidia. I think a really big level that you want to watch is 116. 116 on Nvidia. Nvidia 116 is the high of the last 3 weeks. 116 on Nvidia is the high of the last it's the high since the 26th of March. So yeah, about 3 week high for Nvidia, 116. I think if Nvidia the nasdaq let's see, 19,280, 19,250. We did 19,175, 19,115, 19,075, and then 19 even. Remember, I can't guarantee any of these are going to work. Yeah, so we're looking at 116 on Nvidia high the last few weeks. Yep. And we're also going to be looking at AMD at 100. All right, so we got this news post posted here if you want to check it out. Again, here's the link if you want to watch it. Kind of breaks down all these different levels while we're watching. There's more levels that we're watching, of course, but this is what I'm looking at right now. There's the tweet right there if you want to check it out. I'm also kind of looking at like 100 on AMD. I think I talked about that one. Apple, I think like 210s makes sense. Keep an eye on these. All right, so we are looking at this 115 level. All right, so the White House senior advisor Hassett is not expecting a recession this year, he says. He said there was no insider trading at the White House, and he said I am 100% not expecting a recession. So I guess that's optimistic news here. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if just because he doesn't expect it means it's not going to happen, but seems good. Seems decent. Yeah, so apparently there's no insider. He doesn't think there's insider trading, but who freaking knows, man? I don't know. I mean, yeah, kind of a sticky conversation, but I would hope he would be smart enough to realize how bad of a look that would be if he was doing that, you know? If we get a break under this 115 level, we might short, but I gotta just wait for it. It's even a rebound, though. I think the momentum is definitely on the upside today, and so I'm really curious to see what the opening bell is going to look like as well today. Yeah, we don't really have any other big reports. Yeah, I mean, I personally think they need to change the laws regarding politicians and trading. You know, we've seen some really blatant stuff happen over the last 5 years on both sides. You know what I mean? I think it's absolutely time to change those laws, make it so that it's not legal for them to do it, because it's just so blatant, I think, at this point in time. And so, I mean, on the good hand, like, there's some really bad offenders of this. And I think there's a lot of ways that you've been able to watch what they do and get in on some of the stuff that they're getting in on over the last couple of years. But if those laws change, that won't be there. But, you know, I'm not one that follows them too closely, even though I feel like I've kind of missed out on some gains not following what some big politicians are doing in trading. Yeah, it's time. It's time to change it. Yeah, Apple up to 211s, almost 211s. Look at this. So Apple's rising, Nasdaq's rising. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure. I don't think we have any economic reports at 8:30 today. Tomorrow we do. We got import exports, Empire State tomorrow. Yeah. We got some bond auctions today, though. We got a bunch of Fed speakers today is what we got. We got Barkin, Harker, Bostic, and more speaking today. So that's what's going on today. Tomorrow we have housing starts, import-export prices, New York Empire State, manufacturing index, Canadian CPI, and more, plus Fed speakers. So we got some Fed speakers today and tomorrow that might influence things. I know we've had a lot of them over the last couple of weeks, but all right. So White House Hassett says the U.S. is aiming at semiconductors that influence national security. Presidents will make the decision on when and if to have talks with China, making enormous progress with tariff talk on EU. All right, so this is going on right now. OPEC cuts oil demand forecast this year and next amid the tariffs. How about Patty Pimblett, huh? That dude. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they influence markets. Yeah, Patty, man, that dude, he did that. That was impressive. I knew versus oh, dude, who's the last guy he fought? He fought somebody where he put him in like a triangle armbar, and he was like out. like from his triangle. It was like a really deep triangle and then arm bar. Green. Yeah, it was green. I knew Patty was good when he did that, because that was a really solid finish for him, man. That was a great finish. Yeah, bro. I saw that. Mitchell got banged up, dude, bad. And what's sad about that one is he tapped. Like, he tapped, but the ref couldn't get there in time. NASDAQ at 19.4s. Palantir all the way up to 94s. Let's see if we hold. So we had this level of support, this 19.115 area. Yeah, Volk looked great. I thought Volk would win. Yeah, Silva's going to be champ. Silva's almost certainly going to be champ. He's just too good, I think. Jean Silva, that dude. He looked great. Scary, honestly. $460s. You must be talking about the Q. Yeah, we're at 460 now. Yeah, he did. Yeah, like I said, guys, it's a little bit slower today. Holiday week, not as much going on. We got Jerome Powell speaking on Thursday. All right, let's see if we get a dip. I mean, if we get a dip to 115, we'll buy it. I want to make sure this is the right account, though. Okay. Yeah, we're going to trade this one. Maybe 19.15s here. Another level we can pay attention to. Yeah, I mean, you can look at our poll to see what you guys think here. You know, 49% think rebound, 27% think we're going to reverse, 24% think we're going to go sideways. So who freaking knows, man? We also have this little support level here too. Part of me wants to buy it, but I feel like I need to wait. All right, so here's the pullback. Do I want to buy this little dip here? I don't know why I have this big yellow line on the chart. This must have been a previous high of some sort. Let me move it down. I think it's 19.15 though, is what I think it is. We'll try to buy in here. See if we get a little pop up there, but it's a small trade for pre-market. See if we can add to it too. I need to add a little bit more to this. All right, we'll go ahead and add to it, but it's a little risky to add, but we got a green trade so far, so. Try to hold the rest break even. There we go. All right, we took half off there, locked it in some, just because we can. There's that big retracement though. I'll try to give the rest enough time. That's better, but yeah, we gotta cut it. So we're still green on the day, but not as much. We'll figure out what we want to do. This might hold actually. We'll try to jump back in here. We'll take 2 contracts. We need to take a little bit larger size. There we go. Looks like that was the right move. Ah, about to take profit here, but it's struggling. Yeah, we just got that big rejection up there. I'm wondering if this is bad news or what, but I'll give it a second. We're kind of flat. We're down a little bit after this trade if we get out here. I just don't want to see it come back down here and it'd be choppy into the opening bell. That's what I don't want. And anytime it gets up there, it gets rejected quick too, so that's not the best feeling either, but I'll let it work a little bit here. Alright, so we got out our half a piece there, and we're still green on the day. Now we can try to let the rest work a little bit here. I'm just going to cut it there. We're still green, but not much. We'll see if we can add back at the bottom here. Here we go. All right, so yeah, we ended up making money. It took us a little while to catch it, but we ended up catching the very end of it with a couple contracts, which is good. See if we keep going. Sorry, another music's gone. I'll fix it. Give me a second. All right, so look at this big surge up here. Let's watch that 175 level here. That's what I want to see. All right, look at this big surge. Sorry, let me put the music back on. All right, guys, let's see what the opening bell gives us today, honestly. Will the opening bell give us chaos? A lot of stuff started to pop up. Palantir up to 94s, Apple up to 211s. I did miss out on some of this move here, but I'm going to start to short up here, adding up to that 175 level. We got a cushion that we can use. And so I just need to pop up here. Oof, that's kind of too big of a pop. I don't like it at all. Please work level. Let's hope my level works here. I'm going to cut half of it there too because it looked too strong. And now we're definitely red on the day. I try to see what popped it. Let me see. Let's see if we get a liquidity grab here. We'll be all right if we do. Let's check the news. All right, so Intel confirms. I got to watch this position. Intel confirms earlier reports of a strategic investment by Silver Lake and Altera. So you can see, if we don't count this position, we're still green, but we're down about $20, $30 on this position. So small, it's still small positions. I just got to be careful. Better. See, I'm worried it's going to hit this level and then bounce, which it just did. But I'll let it work some. Let's see. So Hassett said we're making enormous progress on tariff talks with the EU. I'll add on this retracement, but I don't like it. See, I was worried it would bounce off of my level 2 here. I should have listened to my own sentiment. Top 3 worst trade ever. We got out of half of it just because I don't want to lose too much on this thing. Now we're green on this. I'm still worried it's going to bounce off a 7.5 though. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sitting right at my entry, so I'll probably cut this. We're basically flat on the day. But I want to give it a second if it does break down. Sometimes we can break these levels and then dump down quickly, so that's all I'm waiting for. Apple's pulling back pretty quickly, too. Apple's under 211. Although Palantir just broke highs again up to 95.40s. And Palantir isn't a small weighted stock anymore. I think it's part of the NASDAQ for Palantir, so it can move things too. Let me check the chat. Yeah, Hassett's talking, but we're still kind of flat on the day. This is a pretty small trade, but we'll start trading a little bit larger towards the open. Yeah, I gotta just get out there. So now we're slightly red, but it's not the end of the world. It's a very small position. But yeah, Intel confirmed earlier reports of a strategic investment by Silver Lake in Altera and entered into a definitive agreement to sell 51% of its Altera business to Silver Lake with a value of $8.75 billion. Intel so far is reacting somewhat positively to this. Yeah, we'll see what the opening bell does. We still got 50 minutes left. Like, I'm trying to trade here, but we held my level of support, which is what I was worried about. But if we break underneath this, that's a good sign. And so we'll maybe attack it again. So there's 175. We'll try to short it now that it's underneath it, but we gotta maybe add a little bit to it. Low liquidity though in pre-market. It's not really easy to catch momentum right now. We're trying to attack ranges, but it's just taking a while. We can use this top as a risk level though, which is good. It's probably what we'll do here. Maybe add to it if it can get down to like here. That's better. Eli Lilly going up after Pfizer had some bad news for them. All right, so we'll add to this now, although we didn't really get a good fill. All right, we'll take that off immediately just to lock that in. Maybe add back to 175 if we get a pop back up. The problem is that, like, if the NASDAQ and Apple bounce here, which they very easily could, they're both at really good bounce spots. This could pop quickly, which I don't really want to take. We'll add more to this if we can, but I don't mind adding right there. Yeah, see, there's a little bounce. Luckily, we made some money in this one already, so we're kind of flat here on this trade, but we'll use this as a risk now since we added. We'll let it test, but there we go. There's electronics exemptions. So iPhones, microchips, computers, they're all getting exempt for a certain period of time. Now, they're not permanent is the thing, though. So none of the exemptions are permanent, but they're all getting exempt for a period of time, which made the market go up a lot over the weekend. These exemptions were announced Friday, and the market is basically up from those, Monday, today, so far at least. We'll see if it holds, but yeah. So yeah, those exemptions. The only thing though is they're not permanent. So like we're gonna pay for them one way or the other later down the line. And I'm just hoping that, yeah, see here's a big bounce. What I'm seeing is the NASDAQ popping up. It was at a support level. We're right at my risk level. I don't really want to hold this too long because we're still at a manageable day. Like this is pretty small trades. I don't want to see it rip up over this level because then I'm gonna have to cut it. Yeah, it's just too much. We'll switch accounts and then trade something else. Leave my levels up though. Yeah, my only worry is that these exemptions are not permanent, and so we better get a deal done while we're waiting with China, because if not, we're in more trouble. So we basically got to get a deal done if we want to avoid more downfalls. Get some red pressure. I mean, this looks weak, but Apple's still holding. So we did end up breaking down here. I'm trying to see where we got some bounce levels though, but we did end up catching most of this on the back end. The only problem is it's kind of stubborn here with this bounce. Yeah, I'm gonna lower the risk. We ended up making a bunch back here. I'll show you the trades, but now we're lost. We're losing on these two. So we ended up making like 50 bucks back. I'm still trying to hold this 175 level as a risk. We're so sideways in markets though, so it's not really an opportune time to trade. But these are all pretty small trades nonetheless. I just want to see if it holds this yellow level. If it can and break down, great. If not, and it rips back up, we're just going to get out. This looks kind of bullish here though, to be honest. But I'll let it work just for the... looks too strong. We're just going to get out there. We're down a little bit, but it's very small trades. What you wearing? I love you. Oh, yeah. Fun. Love you. Hey, send your brother in. I haven't told him. Love you. Yeah, so it looked bullish, so at least I got out early on this last one. We're just kind of coursing around with it, but I would have loved to get some breakdowns. The problem is, like, we're at a good bounce level for Apple, Palantir, and a lot of these other symbols. So we'll see if the bullish strength keeps coming in. Is my volume low? Can y'all hear me? Mic check 1 2 1 2. I can turn it up a little bit if y'all need me to. Let me know. I mean, I'm just attacking sideways, and it, like, we could call this the trend, but hey, bud, love you, dude. Hey, man. Hey. Alright, guys. Sorry, my son's going to school. Okay, I can turn the volume up for myself if it needs to go up. Alright, mic check 1 2 1 2. Is that better? Let me know. Let me know if that works. Maybe I just need to buy a new microphone. I mean, I'm trying to turn my volume up enough to where it's justifiably loud. But let me know if that works. Yeah, in that instance, I was just talking to my son to go to school. But look at Palantir pop. NASDAQ popping up. Apple popping up a little bit. Still under 211s for Apple, but it's making moves. Palantir up to almost 95. Yeah, is that good? Let me know if that's good. We're in here. We're talking. I'm sorry. Biogen announces that the final process for the EC decision on marketing authorization application is underway. Intel bouncing up a little bit on their acquisition news. Well, they're pausing tariffs on tech. Or they're exempting tariffs on tech. There's still some tariffs, right? There's still 20% tariffs, but microchips and others, electronics are exempt from the crazy high, like 145% tariffs or whatever it is currently. And so there are some tariffs on electronics, but it's not the full extent of the current tariffs with China right now, is what it is. And it's not a permanent exemption. And so eventually we are going to, unless they get a deal done, we are going to be getting hit with some pretty big tariffs in microchips, electronics, but not right now. Now it's just 20%. Yeah, I mean, sound should be pretty good right now. I mean, you don't have to turn me up anymore. But now, like, judging by things, now people are going to complain it's too loud. I don't know. Let me know if it is. Yeah, I mean, 20% is still a lot. It's not like 20% is a small amount or anything like that. 20% is not nothing. It's not chopped liver. It's still pretty extensive. So... The market's so choppy over the last 10-20 minutes, though. It really is. It's completely sideways. It's not doing anything. Don't want to go anywhere. Flat, boring. Look at this chop. Sound is good. All right, cool. Louder is better. I'm not telling anybody to buy. I don't tell anybody to do anything. Oh, you're not talking about me. I know who you're talking about. It ain't me. All right, look at this pop. See if it holds. It's a big green candle. Apple's creeping up some. Market's going up here. Let's see if it continues. Got some action here. Yeah, it looks like we want to break highs up here, but it's struggling to. Such a sideways range here, man. All right, there we go. There's a pop. See if we can break that 200 level. That 19.2 level is kind of sticky, I think. It's just slowing down, dude. Ugh. There's some red. Bro, the market is so flat right now, dude. Like, I tried trading it. I lost. Nobody knows what it's going to do. It's just kind of going up and down sideways very quickly. Looks like it wants to go up, though, but no, it's not. There's a drop. There's that 175 level that we had on our charts this whole time. So the market came all the way down. And then retraced all the way back up. See, now we're coming back up here. We bounced off the edge of this. Yeah, I'm down on the day, but I'm not like extensively down. And honestly, with how choppy this is, I'm not really super disappointed that I'm that down. As down as much as I am. Just because this thing does not look like it wants to do anything. We're kind of shorting a little bit here. Hold on. Hey, look, I'll show you what I'm doing here, but we're basically flat on this now. We got 3 contracts, and now we're getting punished. I'm down like $60 on the day though, so like we're getting a little too close to these highs for my comfort level though. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of most of this. And again, we're down like 60 bucks. Could be worse. Yeah, we gotta cut it. Just trying to be honest with you guys, show you guys what I'm down. Time for some coffee, bro. My coffee tastes like sludge today, dude. It tastes like straight sludge. Carol made it. Ooh. And honestly, the market's boring right now. It's not really doing anything. Nvidia is going to manufacture American-made AI supercomputers in the U.S. for the first time. I see this news come out. Meta also posted some news that said they plan to train AI models using public content shared by adults on companies' products in the European network. Crypto exchange Kraken announces initial rollout of commission-free trading for over 11,000 U.S. listed stocks and ETFs. That news is out. Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy buys another 3,450 Bitcoin, 3,459 Bitcoin, worth almost 300 million. All right, so NASDAQ's pumping up. Let's see what we get. All right, so Hassett said that the White House is concerned about China, period. I slept pretty good. I'm not really tired. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sleepy. All right, guys, we got 25 minutes. Unless Bitcoin can reclaim 93, it's all noise. Yeah, I think 90,000 is the level for Bitcoin that it needs to break. 90K. Look at Palantir, though, pushing up over 95s. We'll put these two up, Apple and Palantir, because I think those are making some big moves today. Palantir got a deal with NATO. They're over 95s right now. Let me get myself out the way here. But yeah, Palantir got a deal with NATO. Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep is a affiliate of mine, but they're really useful if you want to learn to day trade. Most day traders lose money. Doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow, who your mentor is. Most day traders are about to lose money. Let's just be honest here for a second. And so instead of funding your own account thousands of dollars just to probably lose it, try a funded account program. TopStep's the most legit. They give you a 50K demo. If you can make 3K in profit on that demo without losing $2,000 first, reasonable 3-to-2 ratio, they fund you 50K with a 90% split, as long as you follow their rules. And once you get that 50K funded account, you get a 90% split. You get to keep your first 10K prior to the split kicking in. That's pretty similar to funding your own account. If you fail this challenge, you lose $50, basically, for the base one at least. Not a lot of money, not the end of the world. You can take risk, learn how to trade under risk, and learning how to follow a systemic rule set here teaches you how to trade. It really does. It teaches you how to trade. It teaches you how to follow rules. And if you fail, they give you a practice account with real-time data anyway. But if you pass it, it's very similar to funding your own account. It's the best of both worlds. In the futures market, you can day trade the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell. Gold patterns are very similar. Some currencies, patterns are very similar to blue chip stock patterns. No PDT rule. If you use TopStep X, their native platform, zero commission as well. Really powerful way to learn. Really powerful. And they've paid out almost $200 million. In the last few years, they fund thousands of traders. They're just a great way to learn. And again, they're an affiliate of mine. I'm biased. I get paid by them, but still genuinely useful for traders. Genuinely useful. Understand some of these are affiliate links. I'm biased. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly. There's the link in chat right there. If you want to check it out, great way to help support the channel. Is the volume jumpy? I need a new mic. I think that's something I need to buy. I need a new mic. Look, I'll put the mic really close to me right here. That way the volume's good. We're over that 175 level. That 19.2 level seems pretty big too. I mean, I just responded to your question about the 93K level on Bitcoin, bro. Come on now. So is this move just based? Yeah, so this move is based off of microchip release specifically, right? Like microchip relief, there is going to be exemptions to the tariffs, specifically microchip and electronic exemptions. That's what's making the market pop over today. So is this move based on? Yeah. AMD is one of the stocks I bought overnight last weekend too. It wasn't overnight actually. It was. I can't remember when I bought it. I bought it. So the market did this. This is what I bought in a lot of stuff. The market went up, or the market. Let me go back a little. The market went down a lot, crashed, and then the exemption or the pause, the 90-day pause made the market go like this. But then the following morning, the market had gone like that. That's when I bought in a lot of different stocks right there on that pullback. AMD, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Target, Tesla, and I'm very green on not all of these, but I'm green net on these positions, buying it at these points. And even if it's not green, like even if this turns completely the other way, and I just get hammered, I could DCA into most of these long term anyway, and so those don't really mean much. Like these are going to be all pretty safe long term, I think, at least, right? But who freaking knows? I don't know. You got to start a new one, D's, if you're going to try to switch. Wait for final news. Is there such a thing as final news? I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm going back and forth in this account that I'm trading. I'm not down much, but top 3 buyers of all time. Definitely top 3 buy levels ever in the world right now. Microchip tariffs are going into effect, but not including in the reciprocal. Well, these are TOS, and then this is Top Step X. So Top Step X is on the left side here. Top Step X uses trading view charts. Really cool platform, really nice. All right, so we're right at that 175 level we talked about. Yeah, I mean, today is pretty boring, economic report news-wise. But tomorrow we got stuff going on. It's a holiday week. So, like, tomorrow we have import-export, Empire State Manufacturing. And then Wednesday we got retail sales, Jerome Powell. Thursday, jobless claims, unemployment. Friday, markets closed. Is what it is this week. All right, Palantir still churning up here. Apple kind of pulling back a little bit though. But Palantir still right around all-time highs. Where's gold at? I haven't even looked at gold this morning. Here's gold. Gold down to 32.16s. So gold's trying, but it's not doing that great. And again, stick around. We're going to cover everything worthwhile in markets right now. Everything worthwhile in markets we cover here. But bro, my coffee tastes like straight sludge, bro. Sludge. Ugh. All right, we're testing that 175 level in the NASDAQ. Gold breaking down under 3,200s, but it's been breaking all-time highs for the last couple weeks. New all-time highs for gold are 32.63. It hit that yesterday, Sunday. No, actually, sorry, it hit that Friday. Is my music off? It says my music is playing. I think I'm probably just so loud. I turned my audio up that you can't hear the music. So I'll turn the music up some too. Let me know if you can hear it. Yeah, because every time I sip my coffee, the same thought goes in my head. Sludge. Ugh. Yeah, no, I'm putting in way too many scoops. 100%. Like, I know I should do better with scoops, but Carol doesn't. It's not good at all. Yeah, every time I drink it, I'm just kind of like gross. This is not a uncommon thing, too. My coffee has pretty regularly tasted like sludge. I found out that I'm putting too many scoops in there. I got to reduce the scoop count. But Carol rarely makes it. She made it yesterday. And so she didn't realize she needed to reduce the scoop count in the coffee, and now sludge. This is community coffee, I'm pretty sure. It's like community coffee. I can't remember what kind it is. Is it really 2 tablespoons per 8 cups? Because when I Google it, it says 1 tablespoon per cup, which to me seems like way too much. So I'm sure this probably has 7 to 8 cups, or 7 to 8 tablespoons. You know, that's probably a little too. Ugh. It's not a scoop issue. Okay, got it. Not a scoop issue. Okay. What do you think of Palantir? I think Palantir is a good company long term. I think short term, it's up a lot, and the PE ratio is very high in terms of value. It's at 95/30s. I like espresso. It's just way too much work to make. All right, so we did bounce here at 175. I don't know, like, look, the market's flat, guys. I mean, the market's boring here. I'm down on the day, and the market is flat like this. It's not really doing anything. It broke over this range, but it's pretty small now. It's not really a super interesting market. I mean, we're rebounding back up in a lot of stuff. Palantir's up. We're slightly green in a lot of things, but instant coffee. I mean, we have a coffee maker. We gotta, you know, we don't have a Keurig either. We just have a coffee maker. It's not ADHD you have, John. It's OSC, over scooping coffee. That's right. I mean, I definitely have ADHD. I have something that makes it really hard for me to pay attention. I get hyperactive, obsessed with different things. When I was young, I had like bad impulse control. Whatever that is, I've got it. But I can also concur that my coffee is probably a little bit too strong. It tastes like sludge. Look at the market bounce up here. We're up there to 19.2s right now, 19.2s. Apple rebounding back up. Palantir still going. Testing all-time highs. Google broke highs. Looks like it's mostly Apple. Could be Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia's creeping up to 115s right now. Nvidia up to 115.20s. Yeah, I don't do instant coffee. I have a coffee machine. All right, guys, 13 minutes, 13 minutes. Yeah, hyper focus if I'm interested in it. All right, guys, NASDAQ up to 19.22s, Apple at 211s. Not all-time highs, sorry. I meant highs of the day. Yeah, you're right. It's not all-time highs. I retract my previous statement. It's just highs of the day is what I meant to say. Look at that night. Look, I talked about this level. I even included this level in my charts. This morning I made an x.com post talking about my favorite levels. 19,175 was that level. Look at that hold right there. You'd love to see it. I'm trying to see what's driving this. It could be Nvidia. Palantir just broke highs of the day. Google just broke highs of the day. NASDAQ obviously just broke highs of the day. So, start to see some movement into the opening bell. Definitely the top 3 levels in the world right now. Yeah, we don't have any economic reports, Jay. Not today. Yeah, I mean, T-Walk, Google it, my friend. Check out the link. Go to the facts. It's every... If you fail, you have to rebuy. Is what it is, I think, is your question. Caffeine makes you jumpy? Yeah, I mean, for sure. Top 3 jumpiest. I'm waiting here. I'm not really trying to trade. It's too close to the opening bell. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely slightly bullish in pre-market. I mean, here's the pre-market session. You know, here's 4 a.m. right here. So we are creeping up this morning for sure. Good news over the weekend, too. Yeah, so again, the big thing is like stock and futures markets have been crashing over the last month. One of the optimistic things I'm seeing right now, and one of the reasons I decided to buy into stuff was because I'm seeing markets react less to tariffs. Less to tariff news, less to speeches, less to updates on tariffs. The markets overall have been reacting less to it, which I think is a good thing because they've been so reactive. Tariffs have been so influential over markets over the past couple months, really, that less reactions to that stuff is good. You know, we've also seen smaller reactions to economic reports that I'm used to covering here because of all the range in volatility the market is seeing right now. Just a huge range in volatility. And so, yeah, just be careful, guys. Be careful. L-theanine, I'll try it. Yeah, we got Netflix earnings, but that's not really a big one. Netflix might move markets. It's not really one that I cover here, and there's a reason for it, because Netflix has, like, their earnings call has a pre-recorded video as their earnings call. So it's not a live earnings call giving you anything. It's just kind of a pre-recorded, like, it's a pre-recorded call that they do, you know. And I like Netflix as a company. I really do. I think Netflix is about to get into live sports. And so I think sometime over the next year, a couple things are probably going to happen with Netflix. And I might be wrong. Here. But I think sometime over the next year, Netflix is going to split. And so they're going to reduce their share price. And I think they're also going to probably start going up even more, just based off of the live sports aspect. I think they're going to start going up more. Probably. I don't freaking know, though. I'm not an investment professional. Don't copy me. But I think Netflix, live sports, you know, they're getting close to 1,000 a share. I think they'll probably split sometime in the next year. Yeah, Netflix doesn't have much to do with tariffs. Right. Digital company. Yeah, UFC might be coming to Netflix too, which is a great sign for Netflix. Like, you know, the rumor mill is that a lot of people are unhappy with the ESPN deal for the UFC, and Netflix has been predicted to be one of the platforms that UFC partners with, and I would love that. Give us free pay-per-views on Netflix. You know, give us free pay-per-views on Netflix. I have Netflix anyway, you know. I don't even know what an investment professional is, but I'm not one of them. That's all I know is I'm not one, you know. I don't know what an investment professional is. All I know is I'm not one of them, you know. Top 3 least investment professional in the world right now. Yeah, the Tyson fight was messed up. But they'll fix that. That was a test run anyway. They were testing how well they could do it, and they're going to build their servers up if they do it. Like, they're going to fix it. It's a test run. They got to do test runs. And that's what the Tyson-Jake Paul fight is. And it was free. And so I think you can't really complain too much about a free fight. I think if I would have paid for that Tyson-Paul fight, I'd be big mad afterwards. But it was free. They lagged. You know, I didn't really care that much. We did again. Goldman Sachs did come out with earnings, and we got some earnings season stocks starting here. So we do have earnings season coming up, which is one of the bigger things happening in markets. So, you know, we've had all these crazy crashes and pullbacks and dips and all this stuff. We got earnings season showing up in markets. Earnings season really has already kind of started, but I think Tesla has earnings. Is it next week, or is it the week after? Yeah, Tesla has earnings next week. On the 22nd, next Tuesday, Tesla earnings. Yeah. So, pretty big. I honestly don't have any Netflix right now. I'm not holding Netflix right now. I haven't bought back into it yet, but I'll tell you this. I'm probably going to be buying it sometime in the next month or two. Just because I think live sports is coming to it, you know. Yeah, man, I think y'all underestimate, like, marketing, man. People are just super susceptible to marketing. Like, bro, Tyson is 60 years old, dude. Like, 60 years old. Like, he was never going to beat Jake, right? And y'all, like, the problem is, like, it's marketed so well to you guys that y'all just eat it up, dude. Like, some of y'all just eat it up. And y'all think it's fake that Tyson didn't beat Jake Paul. Tyson's 60 years old, bro. Marketing just catches you guys, you know. Like, y'all, in marketing, it's a mix of marketing and confirmation bias, right? Like, you want Tyson to win so bad, you don't understand why he can't or couldn't, you know. All right, so we're pushing up here. Let's watch 19,250. 19,250. Look at Apple. Apple is ripping up. This is what's driving the market up. Apple right now is pushing. Yeah, this is Apple news somehow. All right, so here's what happened. Third Harmonic Bio, Apple, Dell, and other big stocks moving higher. Let's see if there's a reason for this. Anybody know why Apple's moving right now? Could just be the tariffs. But all right, so Jim Cramer, this might be Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer said, quote, Apple and Nvidia are tough to own in the current president's era. What I'm considering. Jim Cramer. Trying to make sure there's no other Apple news here. I don't see it. Could be a delayed reaction to Apple. Again, here's 250, 19250. Dr. Dre. Same old iPhone. Reverse Kramer, yeah. All right, look, we're creeping up there. Look at this. We're creeping up. Apple surging up to 213s, 214s. What does the market do? We still have our poll going live. We got 1,500 votes. 51% think rebound. 27% think reverse. 22% think we go sideways. We got almost 1,000 people watching. For a no economic report stream, that's pretty good for me. I'll take it. Appreciate the love, guys. Thanks so much. Y'all hit that subscribe button. All right, here's 250s. 250s is actually right there. But all right, so we hit 250s, guys. Ripped over it for a second. I'm surprised this isn't catalyst driven. This is a big move. CPC pipeline increased daily oil supplies by 0.6% in March versus February to 6.602 million tons, according to Reuters. All right, look at this fall. Wow, look at this drop. Nvidia dipping down here. Did something happen? Is he tweeting right now? Whew. All right, let's search. Dude, there's so many tweets regarding him. NASDAQ. I'm trying to find anything going on today, bro, but we got Nvidia announces $500 billion investment plan to build and expand AI infrastructure in the U.S. Mass production at Texas plants to ramp up in 12 to 15 months with Nvidia. It says the Dems are reportedly preparing to launch Bernie Sanders an AOC presidential ticket for 2028. Look. Okay, look. I'm not going to get political. Bernie's too old. Let's just be real here for a second. Bernie's way too old. You know. Like. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not really supporting or not supporting either side. But Bernie's too old. Let's just be real. All right, there's the opening bell, chat. There's the open. Market falling all the way back down. Ran into that 19,250 level, coming all the way back down. Nvidia dipping back down some. Apple looks pretty strong, though, over the last few minutes after their news came out this morning here. We're going to let the opening bell settle a little bit before we start buying or selling anything, but yeah, that makes sense. but yeah, but we're talking about in 3 years online days. We're not talking about today. We're talking in 3 years. He'll be almost 90 years old. It's way too old. All right, Apple slowed down a little bit. Nvidia did dip all the way down under 15s, though, at the opening bell. We're waiting for things to settle here before we take any trades. How are you guys doing this morning? You guys doing okay? Is John Jones too old for Aspinall? Was Shogun too old for John Jones when they first fought? All right, here we're pushing up a little bit. We're at 19,250s. Rejected 19,250s again. All right, rejecting 19,250. Listen, guys, we put both of these levels on our post this morning about levels we're watching. Both of these levels. Look at these yellow levels. We posted these levels that we were watching, as well as levels for Nvidia, AMD, and more. We posted this morning. I'm trying to see what time I posted this. Oh, we posted this morning at 7:15 market time. So this was, or 7:15 Central. So 8:15 market time. So we posted this like an hour and 15 minutes ago. Look at that pop here, though, guys. Wow. What is this? What's driving this? Let's see. Something's driving this. Palantir broke all-time, or not all-time highs, I'm sorry. Palantir broke highs of the day. Google broke highs of the day. Google's still pushing. Apple and Nvidia going down, though. That's a big candle wick. We're waiting here. All right, look, we're looking if things are going to settle this morning. We're 3 minutes into the day here. Still waiting. We might buy it if it gets down to 175. Nvidia's still falling. Apple under that VWAP 200 EMA level. I'm going to buy this. See if we could add a little bit more to it, but we're going to wait. But right down to my level here. Let's see if it holds. All right, we got two contracts here. Took half off there to protect it. We'll give the rest some time. There we go. Took half off. Took the rest off. Just made about $40 really quick. We got to bounce exactly off of that 19,175 level. Look at that. We'll wait now. We're going to give it a second, but $40 gain really quickly there at the open. We'll see if we can fight our way back and go green. Even if we continue going down, look at that confirmation there. Yeah, see, we stopped there. Now we're continuing down there. All right, so here's what's going on right now. Sanction news, maybe? I don't know. Such big percentage action. Here's the 200 exponential bounce right here, too. Look at that. Yeah, these are some big range. Yeah, this first bounce at 175 was like 30 or 40 ticks. The downward pressure's still in though. Look at this. Look at this candle, dude. Wow. That's a big candle. I definitely don't want to go long right now. Look at these drops. Trying to see if they got anything else going on to influence these moves, but man, this big candles. Yeah, Jim Cramer, Apple and Nvidia shorts may let stock rally before striking again. All right, we're gonna look at 115, see if we catch it, but almost down to it. All right, so there we go. Gotta be careful. All right, just made another little $20 there, right at 115s. Again, even if it continues down, this seems to work pretty well. Even if it continues down, look at that stop. It bounced up about 25 ticks. Little stop level. And if it continues bouncing larger than that, it's even better. But the red today is just brutal here. Look at this red though, man. This is some brutal, brutal red action. Get the imbalance news. 19.1s might be a level here. We're probably going to draw a level here. We did finally stop. Do we short this? Yeah, Nvidia all the way down to 113s. It's almost too late to now, I think, huh? All right, so CEO Jensen Huang says the engines of the world's AI infrastructure are being built in the U.S. for the first time. Adding American manufacturing helps us better meet the incredible and growing demand for AI chips and supercomputers. Here's the 200 exponential. I guess I'll try to short it. I shorted it, and then I cut it. And then we'll get out there. All right, so we're doing pretty good. I mean, since the opening bell, we're basically flat on the day now. Look at that rejection at the 200 EMA. We haven't had a losing trade since the open here, but this is almost too much. I'm gonna long this. It's kind of a crazy strategy, but yeah, we gotta cut it. Immediately wrong. Yeah, that pressure is just too much. Yeah, we gotta cut it. Well, I should have knocked on wood here. This red is just too deep, dude. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna switch accounts. We'll see if we can do anything on this account, but I'm gonna go back to this one. That's just brutal red here. We're not down much. We're down less than $100 on this one. So we did get that retracement right there too. Look how brutal this red action is though, man. Look at these drops. Sheesh. Brutal. Alright, we are catching a bounce here though, but not quite. Question is, does the market crash back here? That's a big question. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. All right, so we just actually went green on the other account that we were trading. I took some trades off stream attacking this bounce. Sometimes when it gets too difficult, we kind of just trade off stream, to be honest. But we ended up catching this 50, 90, or 9, 9, 40, 27, 9. So got out very quickly. We're now green on the day. You can see it at the top. But I gotta wait a second here. I mean, we got 206 here on Apple. This is actually a pretty big level. But if I do trade, it's gonna be like one contract here. All right, we'll take one. Leave it all for now. See if we get a bounce back. Apple's right at a big milestone support level. One micro contract, we're up 5, 6, 7, 11 ticks. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that there too. Just made about 20. It's been a fight, but we made our way back here. The problem is Nvidia's dumping down right now. I'm trying to see if there's any news for Nvidia. Goldman Sachs sees strong earnings powered by equities trading revenue. Man, that's not really going to move Nvidia like that, though. Look at this yellow level right here, 206 for Apple. Could be profit taking, I'm not sure. Is Tesla falling big too? Yeah, Tesla down to 250s. AMD's dumping down here too. Look at 19,000. I think 19,000 is a big spot. Look at 19K right here. Should we try to buy 19? I'm trying to catch a falling knife here. But all right, we're at 19, but took half off. The rest out there just made about 30. Whew, there's 19. We bounced right there. Pretty good trading, even though we're going counter trend with some of these, just trying to catch small little scalping bounces on some of this. It's worked fairly well. We've only had one losing trade in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trades. So far so good, but brutal red action. That 19,000 level did hold too. So, all right, Meta faces potential breakup as FTC antitrust trial starts. Goldman Sachs CEO Solomon says, quote, "I'm encouraged by the president's more gradual tariff process." Yep, I mean, Fox, no offense, but this is why I don't listen to the chat. We got to bounce exactly off of 19s right there. Look at that. Literally to a T off of that thing. I'll take it. Green is good. Yeah, so regarding the Meta, all right, so Meta is currently facing a big antitrust trial initiated by the FTC. It started today, April 14th. The FTC alleges that Meta's acquisition of Instagram in 2012 and WhatsApp in 2014 were strategic moves to eliminate competition and maintain a monopoly in the social media market. The agency contends that these actions had stifled innovation and harmed consumers by reducing choices in the personal social networking space. The trial is held in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia and is expected to last several weeks. Key figures slated to testify including Mark Z, COO Sheryl Sandberg, former COO Sheryl Sandberg, Instagram head Adam Mosseri. FTC aims to prove that Meta's conduct violated antitrust laws and seeks remedies that could include divestiture of Instagram and WhatsApp. Yeah, I'm not an investment professional. I don't even know. I'm definitely not one, whatever that is. I'm just looking at key levels. Not liable if you lose money. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Could be wrong about anything I say. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional, guys. Understand all this stuff on screen. Confirm it all. I can't guarantee anything. Don't know anything. Don't copy me. No idea what I'm talking about either. Yeah, they're a little late. Pew pew is what I'm saying, bro. They're a little late here, dude. All right, so here we go. We honestly rejected this level, and now we're continuing down. Look at 19's break. This is why I'm just scalping these moves. I'm going counter trend here. So, like, that's why I'm just scalping these. I'm not holding this. A 74-year-old man was scolded in New York after using an AI lawyer for his case without telling the judge. All right, look, 19,000. I'm not going to say the level's the greatest level of all time, but, hey. MySpace, FTW. I'm going to try to short this. It's a risky thing now. We're green on the day on this, but kind of going back and forth here. Top 3 worst levels of all time in the world right now. All right, we took half of that off. I didn't like that at all. We'll add back to this. Try adding back here. 3 contracts. We're taking a risk since we have a cushion on the day. Ugh. Don't do it. Well, we tried. I mean, we're not really down that much here, but we'll take a piece of this off. We're so sideways. I think we might break down more here, but Yeah, there we go. Oh, this is 5. I just added 3. I didn't mean to do that. I really didn't mean to do that just now. Come on, break down for me. Clicking buttons accidentally here. My mistake. Now I gotta worry about it bouncing off of this here again too. I didn't want to add this much and I just got punished for it. Like I wanted to add small and then I let it. I took a I took a little bit too long to see what happens here. But top 3 worst trader ever. It's alright. We'll wait. So we're actually shorting this again here. And we're green on the day somehow, bro. Hold on. I'll put up my last trade. Look, I jumped right back in because I'm stubborn. And we'll hold the rest break even. We're green. I'm going to add to this. Take half off there. Get out the rest there. So back and forth. We're up about $82 on the day. Yeah, I ended up making it right back here. Look at this 19.1 level. So this is what we shorted into. Once we came back down under here, like it's looking more sideways. And so we ended up jumping down on the short side and getting lucky there, but it was close. Again, if you want to trade Top Step with me, this is Top Step's funded account program. They give you a 50K demo. If you can make 3K in profit on the base one without losing 2K first, following their rules and conditions, they fund you 50K with a 90% split. I've got 5 funded accounts, 3 actually funded, 2 that are waiting to just be activated. No PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, gold, some currencies. No PDT in futures. Just a great way to learn how to day trade when most day traders lose. And so if you haven't already, check out Top Step. They've paid out almost $200 million. It's just a structured environment to learn as a new trader. And if you're good enough to pass it, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose the base amount, which is $50 for each account. So it's just limited risk. Most day traders lose thousands when they first get started. If you want to check them out, here's the link. Again, they're an affiliate of mine. I am biased for sure. Understand all this stuff on screen. And yeah, we'll see what we get. We got a nice little cushion on the day here, but it hasn't been easy to make. Yeah, here's Meta. Meta's had a bad morning. And again, look at this yellow Apple level. This 206. It was like the previous low of the last 7 months or so. It was around 206 for Apple. All right, so we're still rejecting here at this 115, 100 level, but downward trend this morning for sure. We'll see if it holds. I'm probably going to get out of here, guys. John's got me running to a show while I'm on vacation. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I appreciate the love. Hey, I'm going to get out of here. Listen, check out Top Step. Great way to help support the channel. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, gold, currencies. No PDT rule. Great way to learn how to day trade when most day traders lose. It's a cheaper way to learn, in my opinion. Much cheaper. Check them out. I love y'all. Y'all be safe. We'll be back tomorrow. We got a lot more economic reports and stuff going on tomorrow. Remember, it's a holiday week. We got Jerome Powell Wednesday. We got retail sales Wednesday. Jobless claims Thursday. Friday markets closed. Tomorrow we got import-export, Empire State Manufacturing data going live. So y'all be safe. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good.